And it's always a time of lots of questions, lots of uncertainty, lots of secret plans that the team will make. They don't exactly hand out the blueprint. So I have to look at everything and figure it out. So what might be known now can change. Always things are very fluid. Let me get a few more people get into the chat. I'm going to share it again. Let's get a few more folks in here. Welcome, though. Welcome to the offseason. And for the players, now it's the time to rest, recuperate, make plans. The team has big decisions to make. And for me, not really a time to relax too much because still lots of action in the offseason. Always things going on. Always busy. Today, not as busy. And I do have some insights to share with you as we go through. One second, I'm just pulling up my laptop here. Get things going a little bit. Here we go. Sharing again. We'll repost. All right, guys, we'll get this a little closer here. It's going good, Seth. Thank you. And yeah, just a minute here. If you guys want to start lining up your questions, we'll start talking about what's likely, what I'm hearing. And remember, they're still formulating their plans as far as this guy's back, that guy's back, all of those things. I'm going to stay for an hour at least, Astros fans. So if you want to pop in, pop out, or if you want to get your questions done now, that's all fine. I'm here for you guys. Channel is popping. We are at about 28,500, getting closer and closer to the 30K goal. I remember when 25K seemed like a long way away, or 20K. So the goal is, I'd like to be 50K next season. All right, cool. Circle back and I'll answer your questions. Like I said, maybe I didn't promote this one quite enough, but hopefully people are getting alerts. It looks like it's growing. Getting some people in here. We'll go over some of the free agents, and maybe I'll try to answer some of your questions just preemptively on what I think will happen in free agency, because they haven't started any negotiations or anything like that. By the way, can everybody hear me okay? Let me know if anybody's any trouble. I'm about to mic up. Forgot to do that. Okay, good. All right, we're going to make the audio even better. 1 second. Sound still good? All right, here we go. No potential QB coach moves. Right now, it is still Gerard Johnson. He has an interview with the Miami Dolphins, I reported, and it's with our offense coordinator position. Just like before, he's welcome to come back. Haven't heard of any change at QB's coach. That, they have those kind of discussions, and the only thing I've heard of is a quality control guy being let go so far. There's still time. Like he said, he would take the week. D'Amico Ryans, that is. We'll see how he does. The rumor is untrue. Yeah. No Cheddar Bob action there. Untrue. What's more important isn't how, it's what. He's not ready to play, and Texans are needing a number one running back, right? So until Joe, could ever get healthy, I don't think that's going to happen, though. Heard it's one of those kind of deals that doesn't get better. I don't know if Will eats Chipotle. I haven't asked him. We get Chipotle actually once a week at Texans typically, and yeah, it's good. Nick Caserio will look at the offensive line, but remember, in-house, Titus Howard's deal needs guaranteed money, and as he alluded to, Nick did during the press conference, he's going to want to talk to Ed Ingram. I do not plan to attend the Senior Bowl. I'm going to recharge a bit. Don't expect to do anything with that. I do know one of the coaches that's attending the Senior Bowl per source is Cole Popovich. Cole Popovich is going to the Senior Bowl. Run game coordinator, offensive line coach. Nick Caserio is going to the Senior Bowl Tuesday and Wednesday. They'll be there. I think you're right that they do need to use the 28th pick probably on the best available offensive lineman, whether that's tackle or guard or center. Absolutely, Brandon. Thank you for that. Yeah, I think they don't need to gamble. They need to get some new blood in here. I don't know about that. I don't know if Gerard's necessarily leaving. He likes it here and has a good relationship with Nick Caley. I was told at one point that maybe they'll consider that, and now I'm hearing it's going to go the other direction, barring him getting a job. I already know who's getting the Dolphins' defense coordinator position. That's just kind of in a drawer, and they're going to satisfy some of these requirements by interviewing some more people, but we'll see what happens with offense coordinator. I don't think that he's a front runner for that at all. Offensive line, I think Jake Andrews is definitely, someone that they could look to move on from. They can't find an adequate replacement. Obviously, he can come back, but he's someone that's under consideration. Trent Brown's an older player they'll think about, and they'll talk with him. Does he want to come back as a backup? He's not coming back as a starter, in my opinion. I think, obviously, they have to get younger. But, Jared Patterson's fine as a backup. You kind of heard Nick run it down, and he likes the offensive line, so what they've done. From St. Louis Rebel, going to the front of the line with this. I appreciate it. St. Louis Rebel says, want to stop by, show love, numb and depressed about the losing the game. Can't believe CJ performed like that. God bless. God bless you too, St. Louis Rebel. Thank you for supporting the channel. Much appreciated. Thank you for what you just did. So that's really nice. Let me catch up on a couple of questions here, guys. Free agent tight end, they'll evaluate it, but remember Brevin Jordan's coming back. Cade Stover partially tore PCL and MCL, no ACL damage, no surgery. The senior offensive specialist to help Caley is Jerry Shlapinski, very, very close. Could use a center. I think that, looking at tight end, I'm certainly they'll look at all those free agents and see if they can get involved. But they like Dalton Schultz. Remember, he just caught 82 passes. I don't think offensive line, tight end is their big concern. They could use a safety. They could use a defensive tackle. They could use a running back. Kendrick Cozell is a good tight end, good guy. 6'7", former Ball State. #1 tight end in the transfer portal. Had a great year for the Cougs. A lot of tight end questions today. Remember, guys, you have Schultz. But I think I agree with you. You could use maybe someone a little more dynamic. I don't think you can count on Brevin. He's had a lot of injuries, all of a sudden being healthy. It's considerable, Sarah, about Blake, but I don't know if he's done enough to earn the job. I think that it's just about where is Titus, what's his best position. They'd ideally like to not shuffle him around left guard, right tackle, and have him settle into a job. I mean, Blake he had that one good game against the Chargers, so I don't know if he did enough to earn it. I think he could hold it down, but I don't know if they're going to go that way. We'll see. It would help them if they didn't have to. Yeah, Jake, his comment about that, Jake had a high ankle sprain, as I reported exclusively in the first game of the season, and then he was tough. He made it back after missing 1 week. He was back out there. It was very impressive. He played hurt, but he wasn't badly hurt. Hi to Jacob. Well, on Titus Howard, you've got a real choice to make there because Titus is, you don't know if you're going to have Ed Ingram back. They're going to negotiate. I don't see a wide receiver in the early rounds. King Birdie, I'm not anticipating that. Free agent offensive linemen are so expensive. We've got to see what they can afford. DeRhino says, much love to my guy, the Assassin. Yep, that's my high school nickname. Thank you. Titus is coming back. Yes, Titus will be back. They have to adjust his contract for Titus to return, but I think they will. Yes, sir. Right now, it's looking like the position coaches, they've looked at tight ends, they've looked at receivers, they've looked at quarterbacks. D'Amico can obviously change his mind, but the current direction, as of tonight, is a lot of guys coming back and don't anticipate big changes. I know they have let go of one of the quality control coaches you guys wouldn't have heard of, not super important. Those are the guys that hold the play cards up in practice, do a lot of the, important behind the scenes work with film, with writing up the play cards, things like that. It's just a calf injury. Hourglass, he's a strained calf. He's already back playing video games. I think he possibly could have played the following week. It's a strained calf muscle. Interested in Breece Hall, yes. But is he really the bell cow that you have to have? Never had a 1,000-yard season. You got to think about that. Is there something you can do in the draft too? I mean, you have a very young talent. You have a core of intact, top-ranked defense. D-tackle room, they do need to negotiate with Sheldon Rankins, but there's mutual interest from Sheldon and the Texans to come back. I think they're going to look at interior line. Right. I mean, you did see that he wasn't stubborn, right? Nick Caley, that he did adjust sometimes and came up with a few good plays and also some creative stuff with the jumbo package, things like that. Blake is underweight, lean. He may weigh like nearly 300 pounds or so, but he's not a very bulky guy. One thing too, Sarah, though, he's got to stay loose. Can't just bulk up and not be able to move well. Movement's a big deal too. They're going to look at the offensive line, absolutely. King Brady, I don't think so, but I have a lot of respect for those guys. I'm friends with them. They've never asked me to collab. I've never done that with them. We've been on television before, and yeah, we hang out when we're at different events or at practice, but they're the other channel. We're really different channels, right? And you guys probably noticed that. And that's me being who I am, and those guys are from the radio background. I'm from a newspaper background, and I tend to be a little more serious, a little more journalist approach is my approach. But those guys do a great job, and I think their channels are really strong, and that's why they've had a lot of success. So check out their channels too. Seth Payne, lots of guys have good channels. I would not bring back Christian Kirk. He, made a lot of money this year and didn't do a lot. I wouldn't bring back Kirk. I would let Tank Dell take over there. Because he doesn't want to rip his own offense. That's not what you do in the press conferences. It's not a time for brutal truth and honesty. He's not going to bare his soul. You saw him get a little bit defensive there at the end, when he said that Nico Collins is, isn't that a good player? It's not a problem, Billy. It's only about what they do. Actions speak loudest, right? Do they address the offense? Do they need to tell you? Look at the draft last year. They're drafting receivers. They're drafting offensive linemen. Doesn't that say? And they hired a new offensive coordinator and promoted a different offensive line coach. I think that's it. Jimmy Ward, he's 35 years old. He hasn't played football in a year, and he's a public relations problem. He's not under contract. I don't think that they do anything with him. Caley doesn't have his own staff. Caley has some of the guys that he's worked with before, and they are Jerry Slapinski and Cole Popovich. It's not like he has this big New England tree. He's never, ever run anything. So it's just like D'Amico. The reason you have the staff that you have is because D'Amico couldn't bring that many people from San Francisco. Like Chris Kocurek didn't want to come. A lot of people don't want to work with a first-time head coach. So that's why you get the staff that you have. It's underwhelming, I know, at some positions, and it's why is because that's what you can get. And so he got help from Nick Caserio, putting it together, piecemealing it, doing the best they can. They've improved at some positions, like linebackers coach with Bill Davis. Rod Wright's been a good hire. Dino Vasso's a young, improving coach. Corey Umlin's kind of a glue guy with the secondary. Frank Okam's a very good assistant defensive line coach. On offense, Gerard, they speak very highly of him, and a lot of other people do. He gets getting interviews for offensive coordinator, so how bad could he be? I think it's one of those things you have to look at. I don't know if it's malpractice. I think that could he be better with the same people? It's just about, ultimately it comes down to the players. How well do they play, and what are the play calling? That Nick Caley and the players are the most important thing, not these position coaches. You saw the impact of the position coach, I know, with the offensive line, with Popovich. And could you possibly have the same? I don't know. I think that the relationship with C.J. Stroud and Gerard Johnson, when you're trying to prop up your QB's coach, who's obviously become a meme on social media, kind of a joke. He's being ridiculed. I watched some of them. A lot of them are very repetitive. They'll move on to making fun of someone else eventually, but that is that. But yeah, like Haley doesn't have his own guys. He doesn't have like a big background, big tree for him to, go in there. I think Nick will be selectively aggressive, yes. Duffy, I don't think you're wrong for feeling like he won't be the same as his rookie year. The fact is the league figures you out a little bit, and different personnel, right, since the rookie season, tougher schedule, all of those things. Right, I'm not saying that, anything against Brees. I'm just saying, yeah, that it's not like he's like Saquon Barkley. Remember, Nick was willing to spend big money, got outbid by about $2 million APY, average per year, on Saquon. Maybe it's not the same thing with Brees. Maybe it's not even the same as Mixon, same level. Right, I mean, they need to break tendencies. They need to be less predictable. The running back from Notre Dame will be gone in the first half of the first round. I don't think that they're going to be able to obtain him without a trade up. I don't know if that's a smart move to trade up for a running back. It could be, BG. Yeah, there could be a lot of changes. A lot's going to be on the line. Rudy, I addressed this to the top. There have been no coaching changes with the exception of firing a quality control offensive assistant. So no big changes. Stover will be fine. He didn't tear the ligaments completely. He partially tore his posterior cruciate ligament, his medial collateral ligament. The ACL, the anterior cruciate ligament, is completely intact per sources. He is going to be okay. He might even be ready for the offseason program. I just said there'll be coaching changes. It's a quality control for now. We have not heard of them firing. They were considering it, and right now the direction is going differently, keeping status quo. I think he wants to play. I think he's frustrated. I think he has emotion. I think, if anything, he's somewhat discouraged at times. And, his body language. He's always said that a couple times. You may have seen him make that comment that he knows he needs to work on his body language. I agree with that. I'll be at the scouting combine. I will not attend the NFL draft in person. I will cover it at NRG Stadium. I'll be at the NFL owners meetings too. Those are my plans. I'm not going to the Senior Bowl. I don't see the upside of it. They draft some guys. You don't know who they're going to draft from the Senior Bowl. They're not going to tell you we like this guy at the Senior Bowl. It's just don't think it's a good use of my resources and the television station's resources. But maybe if the channel was like gigantically popping, we're close to 30,000. What if I had more sponsors? We're at 50, 60,000. Maybe I'd go to every single tentpole event. But I have to pick my shots. Guys, I went to every football game, every road game, every practice. I didn't miss one practice. I went to West Virginia, Detroit for the joint practice. I was everywhere. All the games. I can tell you this, it adds up. It is extremely expensive, even if you find discount flights, cheaper hotels, rental cars, don't go to a fancy dinner. It's incredibly expensive undertaking, guys, to travel to every NFL game and preseason game. And I plan to do it again. But Senior Bowl is a bit of a luxury item for me. Yeah, Cacero's a good shrugger. You're right. Absolutely. What's up, G. Linda from McKinney? I think C.J. Stroud's a very talented guy. They've got to get him more time. He needs more things around him. I just think that he's cost himself a lot of money in terms of, negotiations, but they'll do that later. Offensive line coach is Cole Popovich. He is the head offensive line coach. They have another guy, Yenzer. I don't know if Saleh will hire Slowick yet. I'm not sure. I think he could do better. I think CJ will focus on being better. He's vowed to improve. I don't know if they're going to make a lot of changes. We're going to see. That Nick Chubb thing is completely not news, by the way. This is a much older running back that was signed as an emergency guy and did not produce to a $5 million level. But I have the same opinion. I just haven't gone down and offer my opinion on every single player on the roster, but there's no report. The team hasn't said, this guy, no way, Nick Chubb's not back. No, that isn't going on. Just like to try to illustrate and kind of underscore and shed some light sometimes on why people think that's a report. Not a report, it's an opinion. I share that opinion. I don't think you should bring him back. I think you need Woody Marks and another running back. And Jawar Jordan, give him another chance. Next year's schedule is tough. Let me pull it up here a little bit so we can go run it down for you. We don't know the times and dates, right, obviously, but we do have the opponents, so we'll go through that a little bit. From footballschedules.com. They're going to Cleveland. That's a winnable game. At the Colts, who they did well against this year. At Jaguars, they split the series. At Eagles, Jalen Hurts and the Eagles, so difficult game. At Pittsburgh, which you just won handily against them. They have a rookie coach, or at least first-year coach, I should say. At Titans, the team you swept. At Commanders, yes, Jim Daniels will be back, but they're not a great team. At Packers, playoff squad. Jordan Love lost there last time. At Chargers, back to LA against Justin Herbert and Mike McDaniel, Jim Harbaugh, and Justin Herbert working together. I don't think CJ will push for a contract extension. The leverage isn't there. I think David Mulligata will be strategic, and they'll revisit this next year. Fifth-year option this year is my opinion. Yeah, I knew the whole time which players confronted him. I reported about Kamari Lassiter and him. The argument did spill over to some other players. There was Derek Stingley Jr., there was Azeez Al-Shire, and that was like final straw, but they'd already kind of were souring and deciding, and he was complaining about Jalen Petre's contract. He was a lot. He was behind the scenes a real mess. And I knew it for weeks, and then wanted to see if it would get any better before I went public with a lot of the stuff I did. I reported this immediately, all the things. I didn't name a bunch of names. I didn't get into that, but as far as the problems, what the problems were, yeah, I did all that. Well, they're going to get some good players, right, Farnsworth? I think Will be $40 million plus. I don't know if he's going to beat Micah Parsons' deal. I don't think he should beat Micah Parsons' deal. I think Micah Parsons and him are a little bit different. But $40 million plus, absolutely. Right, Stan Duffy, I mean, they've done that before, but they've also spent on some free agency. They've done that selectively. We'll see if they do it this year. They know they have to. Thank you, Frank. I appreciate it. I am trying to recharge. I feel a little more rested. Maybe I look a little more rested. I don't feel as tired as I did a few days ago. I appreciate it. Yeah, thank you. You're so welcome. I'll keep it up. I don't know, Fonz, any other quarterback? I mean, there's some bad quarterbacks out there. He played a terrible game, and it was surprising to everybody. I think a lot of it is mental, the decisions he made, and don't know why he couldn't stop doing that. But I'm not a mind reader. I can't understand, why CJ did what he did. He was accountable about it. That's fine. Being accountable is great. Not making I think I saw this in a movie one time. You know what the best thing to do about mistakes? Don't make them. Yeah, that's right. Mixon, Chubb, done, moving on. New blood. Can't hold on to the past. I get asked all these Mixon questions. Mixon wasn't going to come in riding in on a white horse. The guy had a stem cell shot. He had electromagnetic therapy. Heard he dropped something on his foot. He didn't shoot himself in the foot. He can't play. It's a really unfortunate situation for a guy who was a team captain, was the good guy award winner, and it didn't work out. Yes, I agree with bringing back Trent Brown. He wants to come back. Not the minimum. I mean, 1 year, $3 million is a little more fair. They think Jalen Smith will be the guy. Jalen's a good player. I think he could step in. He's making great progress in his rehab from his knee surgery. I think he'll get it done. got to get some kind of running back, I think. Can't just bank on the draft. That's not a sure thing. Need to get something to go with. $26.5 million on the 5th-year option. Not guaranteed. And it is in a way, but in a way it's not. So it's just a placeholder for the future. Yes, sir, SGT Roberts. Yeah, absolutely. Next season will be good. Let's see what CJ can do with a lot of pressure on him. And by the way, thanks for everybody that supports the channel. We've already got some folks that have done super chats. Anybody that doesn't know about that, you get to cut the line, and I'll get right to your question. Sometimes I call it the tip jar, too. I appreciate everybody that supports the channel. So far, we had about 3 people do that. So, yeah, thank you. We got 75 strong right now here on the channel. So, thank you. And as I said at the beginning, this is going to be a 30,000 channel very soon. I started this in October of 2024. Very proud of the progress. And you guys should be, too, because you guys support the channel. You're associated with me. We're all in it together. It's a team. And I appreciate everybody that watches these videos and all these posts. I am rationing out some of the content. I don't want to post every single thing all 1 week because it's going to be a little slow. We're not going to have as much time, as much, I would say, we don't have the same access. So I can't post 50 shorts a week of practice and player interviews because it's the off season. But I intend to do lots of videos that I make. Hopefully you guys can get tired of me. I appreciate you. Thanks to Labos. Appreciate you. A GoFundMe for Tyler Linderbaum. You'll need it. It'll be a big one. The big guy from Iowa, Baltimore Ravens center, guy they should have drafted, a mistake that Nick Caserio made, along with Lovie Smith, to pick Kenyon Green. They should not have done that, obviously, and they're still paying for it this day. I actually talked to Kenyon's dad yesterday. Kenyon's still deciding on some reserve future offseason deals like the Cincinnati Bengals, some interest from the Eagles too. So yeah, he'll get a job, but not headed toward starting status right now. And as far as everybody that worries about the salary cap, guys, they'll create enough money. They'll be able to do it. I mean, they have a senior offensive assistant, 2 of them really, Bill Lazor and Jerry Schlapinski. They talked more about Schlapinski being helpful to this offense. This is non-alcoholic, by the way. Unsweet tea. I'm very boring. This is like my favorite drink, guys. Like caffeine. Like it better than coffee even. Absolutely, yeah. I didn't even go over the home games, but let me do that too. Hosting the Bills, the New York Giants, and John Harbaugh, old friend of mine, the Dallas Cowboys. That'll be fun, right? Don't fight the Cowboys fans. Don't act like the watch party, guys. The Cincinnati Bengals and Joe Burrow. Of course, the Titans and the Jaguars. And the Colts. Be more specific, please, Devin. No one's had surgery yet, Sarah. Nobody was like really hurt that badly to need surgery. Like Cade Stover's not having surgery. Dalton Schultz isn't having surgery. Jalen Smith had the surgery. MJ Stewart had surgery for his quad tendon that he tore. Making a good recovery. Free agent. We'll see if they want to come back with them. Right now, the direction right now, and it can change obviously. Doesn't look like CJ is going to need a new quarterbacks coach unless Gerard gets the offense coordinator job in Miami, which I don't expect. What is Case Keenum going to do? Like Case is the third quarterback backup. You have Graham Mertz. I don't see it. I don't anticipate them trading CJ Stroud. Thank you, Brandon. He had a sore finger. It wasn't broken. That is accurate. Farnsworth, that's not true. Everybody that spreads that rumor. Very responsible. It doesn't matter if he did. I don't care if he shot himself in the foot, sawed off his foot, sliced his foot, dropped a weight on his foot. That's what I heard. He dropped a weight. I don't care. There's only one thing that matters. And okay, maybe I think about these things differently because people think, oh, it's funny or that's ridiculous or whatever. Can he play or not? Is he going to line up and carry the football? Is he going to take this football into the end zone? No, he's not healthy enough. That's the only thing that matters. But no, he didn't shoot himself. That is absolutely ridiculous. That's some made-up stuff. No, CJ does not have concussion symptoms. He has I believe, and I'm being a mind reader here, some hesitancy to run for concern of getting another concussion. He's protecting himself. I think Tyler Linderbaum would be good. Another center, I want to plant this name with you guys, took over as a starting center for the Panthers. Cade Mays, bigger center. Wouldn't cost as much. Titus Howard will not be released. I think they're going to do a new deal. I think they're going to restructure it, and they're going to pay him some solid money. I don't know about that number. I think that would be a little high. No, I'm not sipping dirty. This is just on sweet tea. Yeah, it's good. It keeps me going. Got to hydrate. A bad habit to chew ice cubes. You guys are going to know a lot about me tonight. Genuine question from Hector wants to know, can C.J. Stroud recover from this? Sure. He's been through tougher things in life, right? He's got a dad in jail. They grew up fairly impoverished at some points. Him and his mom, where she was the manager of a storage facility, living in a small apartment. His entire family. They've been through a lot. I think he can get past this. It's one football game. It's one playoffs. He can get better from this. He can grow from it. Sarah, it would be really tough for Linderbaum, and I think his preferences are the Baltimore Ravens and the New York Giants. We'll see if he even gets out of Baltimore. They love him in Baltimore. That I know those guys in the personnel department, the coaching staff, including their incoming coach. Yes, I think Schultz will be back. It's really expensive, Farnsworth, to do that. I think they need to get at least one good offensive lineman. Right now, they're going with Andrews, Jake Andrews. Signing a new center might need somebody more affordable. That's why I brought up the Cade Mays alternative. They should totally try to run the football. It would change this whole thing. I think David Montgomery is something that makes more sense too. I know the kicker, although the kicker always scores more points, right, Michael, than the skill guys, the kicker is always the highest scorer on any team. Unless you got somebody catching like 20 touchdown passes. They're obviously deficient in the red zone. They need a red zone plan. They need more physical play in the red zone. The entire red zone operation is bad. If they hadn't gone 1 for 4, despite CJ's 4 interceptions in the red zone, they win the football game. And we're talking right now about them playing Jared Stidham and the Broncos on the road. I'd already bought my plane tickets and booked a hotel and everything. And now, just like that, it's like a train screeching to a halt. I know. I don't know why everybody wants to talk about Mixon, but I'll answer it, I guess. No news conferences scheduled. Nothing at all. Could be the next time we have a news conference with them. Might be early days of the combine with some one-on-one time with them for the Houston media with Nick Caserio and D'Amico Ryans, extra stuff beyond the podium for us to talk to those guys. That's been a tradition every year. I don't know, Omar, if they're going to have news tomorrow. I think today was their last day for a lot of the coaches in the office. They're going to get some time off. So we'll see if anybody gets called in and has to turn in their playbook and their keys. We'll see. Hi, Michael. Haven't heard yet, though. CJ is your quarterback. Yes, he's your quarterback one. Yeah, keep an eye. That was someone planted that name with me, Cade Mays. I'm saying it for a reason. We'll see. I don't know if they're going to change QB's coaches. We're going to see. I think the Guardian helmet is a great idea. EJ Speed would like to come back. That is very possible. The Rams are a team that I'm sure he would be interested in, but he's all in with the Texans. He's going to be here. I think when it comes to free agent guards, we have to see the price points, right? You know, who is going to be getting more than, say, Ed Ingram? Is Ed Ingram your best option for one of the guards? Just imagine, guys, if you subtract him from the equation, but I'll give you some names that are going to be on the market. One of them is much older, 34-year-old Joel Bitonio from the Cleveland Browns. Isaac Sumalo, very established, Pittsburgh Steelers. Very versatile player. Elijah Vera Tucker will not be cheap. David Edwards from the Buffalo Bills. Wyatt Teller from the Browns, who lost his job. John Simpson, also from the Jets. I don't like Evan Neal, but he is someone that's out there. And Tevin Jenkins. So we'll see. That is accurate. His dad was a pastor and unfortunately had substance abuse problems and problems with the law. And now he's a 3-time felon and he's in Folsom Prison in California. So his dad is, serving his time, and CJ and the Innocence Project, or rather the Reform Project, they are trying. It's led by Michael Rubin. They've been trying to get him out. I don't know. It's very, very tough. The 3-time felon rule in California. No, Larry, that's not true. I know it's 2 playoff games, Texas. I'm not excusing it. I'm just telling you, I don't think they're going to throw him away just because he's had this bad playoffs. I mean, it's true for a lot of quarterbacks, right, Seth, that they have to have great surroundings and support and play calling. He's just not one of these guys. He's not Michael Vick. He's not going to just beat you by himself. For those that don't know Michael Vick, he was the man back in the day. Before the dogfighting, he was pretty good after he did his prison time, too. I know you guys love Mixon, but you got to move on. Over. They were talking about Tommy Townsend. He wants to come back. I haven't posted that video yet. An interview, a one-on-one I did with Tommy, but I think that's going to happen. I think so. Mutual interest. We'll see if it happens. Depends on price. Stevie, yeah, I've addressed this a couple of times. Right now, the direction is not to have a new quarterbacks coach unless Terod Johnson gets the offensive coordinator job with Miami. Don't estimate that. Nick Haley does have some say. My understanding is that Nick Haley likes these guys, wants to keep working with them. I could see them, doing something for Daniil. I don't know if they can afford to do it right now. They should have been using Jalen Noel more. You heard Nick Caserio kind of acknowledge that a bit, hinted at it. Didn't really rip them for not using Jalen. I think he's got to play more. That's a good list, Steve Feasy. Townsend's a good player. Those coffin corner punts are really good. Good operation, too. Remember, he's the holder for all those successful kicks with Kaimi Fairburn. Yeah, you're right, Kima, but I don't have to pass that on. They weren't in on deleted Doozer on people at the trade deadline. It was pretty nice and quiet. They weren't really, and they didn't get far down the road with Brees. They checked on it, one call, no, okay, thank you, hang up. They're not getting Josh Allen. They're not getting Joe Burrow. Gumby doesn't like Stroud. I get it. What's up, Ramada? Yes, I think they should re-sign Sheldon Rankins, and there is mutual interest on both sides in having back Sheldon Rankins. Like anything, it's a negotiation. It's hard for me to predict negotiations, but when there's mutual interest and two sides want to do something, and the player's very good, why can't it happen? I haven't done a ton of draft research, but I would tell you this, with the NFL draft, there's always a lot of wide receivers, but I think that, it's tough. They've kind of made some decisions about receivers, but obviously there's a great safety in Caleb Downs. There's some edge players like Ruben May Jr., Peter Woods, really good. Good offensive tackles, Francis Mauga, Spencer Fano, top quarterback prospect Fernando Mendoza. And also for the edge and defensive line, Keldrick Falk from Auburn. And other quarterbacks, you look at receiver, there's Jordan Tyson, there's Carnell Tate, Mekhi Lemon, Denzel Boston. Offensive tackle, like I said, Francis Moaga, Spencer Fano from Utah, Caden Proctor, Alabama. He's a monster. He'd be great, but he'd have to move up. Caleb Downs, Arvell Reese, Sonny Styles. Give me all those Ohio State guys, but they don't need them. They got a great defense already. Jim, good question about Mike Toman and the stadium. Refurbishing the stadium is still the aim, I'm told, and we're headed to the suburbs. We'll see if that winds up being Cypress, Pearland, Fort Bend Toll Road for practice, but that's not really as important as where they play the games, right? Important to me, see how long a commute I have or if I need to move, if it's going to be really problematic. I know that I drove to the volleyball match. They have the team they own, the LOVB Houston. It took 90 minutes to go from NRG Stadium. Left at 5 p.m. I arrived at 6:25 for this McNair press conference before the match. That was tough. I don't want to drive 3 hours a day. I know, Gumby, he shook your faith. I don't know if Dari has to go, Seth. I think that they seem to bring him back every year just for special teams. I think Jake would be the backup, or they would give him a chance to go somewhere else. It would be kind of a catch-as-catch-can situation, Sarah. Good question. I can tell you this, it's not the offensive line coach. It's probably not the running backs coach. You know, you look at receiver, you look at QBs, you look at tight ends. But my understanding right now, they're running it back. They've got to be able to fix the blitzes, the free runners. That's a good point. Arts, Sports for Life. And yeah, thanks. And thanks to everybody that's hit the super chats. I appreciate everybody that's doing that. Thank you so much. I think they need another lineman. Maybe another guy that's a good leader like Titus to go with them. I think with CJ's contract extension that it will be put on the shelf right now. They'll do the 5th-year extension to buy more time, and then they'll evaluate him. They weren't close to acquiring anyone at the trade deadline. They made one call about Breece Hall, didn't want to do the terms, and no deal. Yep, Caden Proctor, Alabama, good football player. I think they do need to draft a defensive tackle to go with him. I think Tim Settle Jr. leaves in free agency. Christian Harris, I don't know if he's done in NFL, but probably done here. It's time for him to get a fresh start. You will not get Mendoza unless you want to trade your entire draft and some of next year's draft. It's not happening. No Mendoza. Proctor's a good football player. He is tough. I mean, Kaylee's who they picked. You want to go one and done every year with the offense coordinator. I like those. Once an offensive lineman, once Breece Hall, once David Njoku. Power running game. I think they have to do it. I just answered that, Jason, about contract on C.J. Stroud, so please refer to that answer. Not drafting a quarterback. They want more space to have. They have to share space sometimes with the rodeo and other events. They want like a more modern place. They'd also like to make some money. There's, as you guys I don't know if you know this, that part of Houston, Texas, of Harris County, is zoned for Section 8, not far by. And there's really not a lot of great commercial development, not a lot of great restaurants in the area. Yes, we have, the Papacitos, and we've got a Chipotle, and we've got a few small mom and pop restaurants, but we don't have really a lot of retail. We do have a Smoothie King. I mean, we have a lot of great hotels. We get some like those hourly rent kind of hotels in that area. Not great. So fixing it would involve, and the studies of knocking down the Astrodome, then rebuilding in that space and expecting it all to be this destination. Even better would be if they could have legalized gambling, have a casino right by the stadium, the way the Steelers do, the way the Ravens do, but gambling is not legalized. They want more space. They want to have it more modern. That's a great question, Stevie. They're going to look at offensive linemen. They're going to look at running backs. They'll look at defensive tackle. But as far as the actual names, I mean, it's a bit early. No, delete. As far as draft picks, yeah, I mean, they made the picks that they made. Remember, they were in on Donovan Jackson. They wanted to trade up for Kelvin Banks. They really liked Booker, went to the Cowboys. I like Gainwell. I think Gainwell will be expensive as a versatile back. Kyle Pitts is expensive too. We'll see if they can afford him. Caley doesn't have his own staff. Caley's worked with New England and Rams. He doesn't have the say. These guys are under contract with the other teams. Why would they want to come here? The guys that work for the Rams. It's been a minute since he worked for the Patriots. They've already got some of those guys. Ingram, I think, will test free agency unless they have a great offer to make him not want to go to free agency. I think Ursery's been a good draft pick, absolutely. They've got senior offensive consultants, one that he likes a lot named Jerry Schlapinski. You just don't hear about him very much, but he thinks that he's very good. Because of bad weather, that's why they had to go from Providence to Newark. It was a snowstorm. They de-iced the plane, the wings, all that, and then the weather was viewed as dangerous, so they had to go to Newark and they have a delay. That was why that happened, Jim Davies, because of safety. I don't like SoFi, for the record. I think SoFi is terrible. I hate the layout. I think CJ can still improve. I'm not giving up on CJ just yet. I don't know if the audibles, if that helped him that much. I don't even know how much he audibled. I think a lot of times he just ran the play. Hi, Patrick. I think they've got to get him back to throwing on the move a little bit. Yes, on Azeez, they would like to extend him. He has no more guaranteed money left in his contract. And yeah, that's something I've heard, that they would like to do an Azeez deal and continue to be in the Azeez business. He's not a free agent, but they need to get his contract right-sized. I don't know if they look at ATN. They have a lot of respect for him. We'll see. Let me say, guys, I got about 15 more minutes. Appreciate everybody that's already hit the tip jar, and I jokingly call it the tip jar, and done the super chats. They cut the line. Top fans. So yeah, please do so if you feel like you want to, or if that's something on your mind. Hint, hint. Rico Dowdle's a good player. I don't know if they're going to get involved with him, but Dowdle could certainly help a lot of teams. Dowdle's really good. I think that, it's too soon. They can't have these conversations yet. They haven't even had the meetings to have the list to make their determinations. He's a 27-year-old back. He's a good player. I think he can help them. He's, average size of 5'11", 215. He's been productive. We'll see what happens. Burke is staying. Burke's not getting the Arizona job. That's the only job he was up for. He got a Zoom. It went fine. He was pretty busy and pretty distracted because he was focused on the game plan for the Texans, and then he didn't get the job. I've heard Vance Joseph is the leader in Arizona. He'll be back. Yeah. They can't get James Cook. They're not going to trade for him. He's not available at all. He won't be available. Tim Settle Jr. is interested, but we'll see on his price. He's coming back from foot surgery. So we'll see if they can get something done with Tim. Be nice to have Tim, Rankins, Mario, Tommy Tagiai. But I think it might be time to draft somebody. Thanks, Jason. Oh, I appreciate it. Yeah, it's right back at you. I appreciate that. A.J. Brown would definitely be expensive. Tommy should start. They called him, say he's playing one of the best defensive tackles in the NFL. So I think it's Tommy and Sheldon. I think they're good with that. I don't know if you can get somebody better than Tommy, then you got a wrecking crew defensive line, Sarah. See what they can do. If they can get something done. I'm not sure yet. Dowdle was 1,076 yards, 6 touchdowns. I don't see Dowdle leaving the Panthers, though. They don't normally do that workout with a bunch of other quarterbacks. They usually work out with their own receivers. I don't know if he's going to do that or not. Tank Dell and Brevin will be back. Dalton's back. Cade should be fine. I think they should use Jalen Noel a little more. Jaden Higgins. Absolutely. I have not heard remember, free agency, guys, is in March, and we're in January. I know that might frustrate you guys, but they don't have their list. They haven't had any of those unofficial wink, wink, nod type of meetings or anything like that. I don't see a big trade coming. No, I don't think it's going to be like Tunsil. I formation would be good. Maybe British Brooks. Yeah, I mean, on Brevin, we just don't know if he can stay healthy. I don't know, Uncle, if they get TJ Watt. I mean, they've got so many other rushers. It's a little crowded, right? Right now, the direction is for Gerard Johnson, unless he gets the Miami job. I haven't heard of them do anything like they're going to fire Gerard Johnson, so we're going to see. I think, that some things are considered, some things don't happen. Ultimately, it's going to be like, obviously the action. But right now, I don't expect that. We'll see. Everything can change in a New York second, meaning very fast. Like I said, guys, we'll keep this thing going the whole offseason. I'm excited, and I'm just growing into the channel. This is October 2024. The channel launched around the New England Patriots road game when they beat them, and Will Anderson sacked Drake May. By the way, he's now sacked Drake May 6 times in 2 games against him. That's pretty good. Daniil's under contract for this year. It's basically fully guaranteed. So, they may not want him on a 1 year. Maybe they look at, I think it also comes down to how much does he want to play. I think he could play. He takes great care of himself for a long time. So maybe they just keep doing Daniil Hunter deals. But remember, they're going to do a Will Anderson deal. And so can you pay both? And at some point, you're going to have Kamari Lassiter and Derek Stingley Jr. Can you do both those deals at the same time? Meaning having Kamari on a good contract as well as Derek Stingley Jr. Good stuff on Star West. No, James Lifford will not be the general manager of the Falcons, I'm told. He did interview today. I'm hearing Josh Williams and Ian Cunningham are the clubhouse leaders for that. You might think that's the truth, but it matters what they think. I know that might bother you, but they're going to do whatever they want to do. It's their football team. Thank you, Jim Davies. I appreciate that. Thanks for the compliment and for the contribution to the site. Thank you. Daniil's absolutely amazing. He can play for a long time. I do not think Graham Mertz should be given an opportunity to start a quarterback. I don't think that he's right. What I'm saying about Stingley and Lassiter is having Stingley and Lassiter on second deals, lucrative deals at the same time, having 2 star corners, because that's what you have. You have 2 star corners. By the way, a little nugget here. Guess who's going to the Pro Bowl? Kamari Lassiter. Because Christian Gonzalez and or Patrick Surtain will be going to the Super Bowl, and he's a first alternate. So then, coming back. They showed no interest in Kevin Zeitler at all last year. I checked 8 times. They never called Zeitler. Like I said, guys, got a few more minutes, so if you want to line up some more questions, let's get them in. Like I said, appreciate you guys. Everybody that watches me here, follows me on Twitter, X, Aaron Wilson _NFL, Instagram, Aaron Wilson 7128, watches me on TV at KPRC2, and it reads my stuff at www.clicktohouston.com. They're going to get a running back. I think they will. I think O-line, tight end isn't so bad. I think you need an offensive lineman. Oh, come on, Hourglass. You got to move on from Joe Mixon. Yes, Mario Martinez sticking with CJ. I don't have my glasses on, so didn't see that very well. I don't think they would do Tank early. I don't think Tank would do that. Tank's going to play it out. No. Kalen Bullock next year, but you don't have to do it next year. He's just eligible next year. O-line, running back, D-tackle. Thank Arts. Appreciate that. Give you what I got. Absolutely. They'll try to improve the offensive line. G. Linde, definitely. There's no bullet wound, Larry. Come on, man. I know it's fun, but it's just it's not true. I like to deal with the truth. Texans are going to the Shrine Game, the Senior Bowl. They went to the Gridiron Showcase. They interviewed a player at the showcase. He was a tight end. I tweeted about that too. CJ is not due for a contract extension. He's eligible for contract extension. They could have him under contract for the next, couple more years. They'll do the 5th-year extension. They'll 5th-year option. I want to say extension, and then they will keep moving on. I got to check. I don't know if there's any safeties that are going to be out of the game yet for Kalen, so we'll see. No, I don't think a free agent quarterback. Larry, send me a note. What did you see? You were there when he shot himself? You were there? All jokes aside, Larry, send me the proof or post it right now if you can't. I don't think you can post pictures in here. Larry, my DMs are open. Shoot me a DM. You can find me, Aaron Wilson _NFL. You can DM my Instagram, Aaron Wilson 7128. I'd love to know the truth. There's no police report. There's no incident report. There's nothing like that. I think that Nick is not going to tell you anything in these type of situations. He's going to tell you a little bit. He's not going to tell you a lot. Yeah, Trent Brown. Juice Scruggs will be back as a backup, I believe. Silence error. Trent Brown in a mentor role. Yes, he did. He helped him a lot. Larry, I'll be waiting for that. Please send it to me. I'd like to see it. BG, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thanks. I'd love to do a max contract with KPRC. Thank you. Really appreciate everybody at KPRC. No. Derek Barnett, I don't think they'll draft an edge high. No, they've got 2 elite edges already. Derek would be nice to have it back as a backup. I've put no time limit on my time covering the Texans. This is my job. No one else in another market has really come after me. And actually Buffalo did when the Chronicle parted ways. Buffalo was interested. I could have been in Buffalo covering the Bills. Buffalo, I think Joe Brady and Dable, they're going to be given consideration, but I think it might wind up being somebody better than that. Daniil Hunter's under contract through next year. Gerard Johnson's staying for now. David Mills is staying on a 1-year, $7 million deal. I guess I got a couple more minutes, guys. Thanks for the great questions. It's been a good chat. I don't mind. The Joe Mixon things don't really bother me. It's just we're being repetitive. I would rather use this time for you guys. Offensive line, top priority in the draft. I would go offensive line. I appreciate everybody that's contributed. Really nice to you guys. Ha. Funny. You know Joe Mixonauer? Tell him to contact me. I don't know if they do 2 rookie O-lines. I think maybe 1 vet and 1 rookie, at least as far as high up. All right, Larry, well, send me the proof. I don't know if he'll trade up. It has to be a special player for him to move up. I haven't heard of them any movement toward Henry To'oTo'o, but they could do it. I don't know if Henry should do it this early. I think he might have more value if he gets closer to free agency instead of lowballing himself. Thank you, Dustin. I would give CJ about 70% of the blame if I don't really done percentages. I would put at least 20%, the other 30% split between the offensive line and Woody Marks. They'll give Reed a chance, but I think he's going to compete with Kayvon Merriweather. I think they're going to bring in someone as well. They'll be looking at things like that. I don't know about paying Henry that early. You got to think about it. Okay. Well, Larry, if you're HPD, I'd love to see the incident report. Things like that are supposed to be public record. So let me know. I already dropped the weight on his foot. Maybe they're trying to cover it up. Maybe they're not. But Larry, we can talk off the record. Let's talk off this. If you're for real, and it sounds like you think you know a lot, just hit me up, and I'd love to have an open conversation. I once got a Ray Rice tip that way from a casino security guy, and I didn't believe it at first. It turned out that he was in jail. Maybe by Texan security. Maybe so, Larry. Brent Nakara. We'll see. I don't know. New England defense was great, but I mean, you gotta get after them. What's up, RA? All right, guys. Couple last minute questions. We are at an hour. I do have some things I got to do too. Marco, you're here at the last minute. You better get your question in if you want a question. Line up a couple questions really fast. I'll give you a couple minutes here. Marco, great Texans fan. What's up, Corey? You guys are getting in a little late. We started at 8:30, so hit the questions right now if you want to ask a couple. I can't stay very many more minutes. I haven't heard if they're going to get ATN. I think he would help. That's great, Mixinators. Stop lying on my name. Well, why'd you shoot yourself in the foot? Why did you have the safety on? Come on. What's going on here? Wide receiver coach, they have underachieved. I think you can make an argument for moving on, but I don't know if they're going to. Right now we're hearing about a lot of status quo. Right, I think they need some simpler plays for him. I reported this earlier in the thing. Yeah, Breece Hall, I think they'll explore it. They did make a quick inquiry. Didn't get anywhere during the trade deadline. And like I said to guys that are just joining here, I want to be fair. You came in a little hot here late at the end, so if you want to ask your questions, ask them. Jimmy injured his foot last season. He had surgery on his foot. He also had legal problems, which you guys have probably read. He was absolved of the accusations. He still has a civil lawsuit that is active. Yeah, guys, no one said Nick Chubb was coming back. It's kind of a no-duh. Nick Chubb's. Why would you bring back an old running back like that? I think Breece Hall. I think trading David Montgomery. I like him. Jimmy Ward was found innocent. There was evidence that absolved him. Text messages showing that the alleged victim was conspiring against him and had acknowledged that he didn't do it. That there was they made it up. He could probably countersue if he liked. I'm not going to Spanky's tomorrow, but have a good time, guys, with Landry and Cody. That is their thing. Hope it's great. Yes, CJ will be your starting quarterback, Larry. Jimmy's not back. I don't expect him to be back. Doesn't matter about the contract. He's 35 years old. He hasn't played football in over a year. I think defensive tackle, yeah. Looking at D tackle. Could use another safety. We could see those things happening. I mean, Dalton Schultz is a decent tight end, guys. It's not like he caught 82 passes. He actually broke record. He had surgery. There were also, I believe, a PR problem too with playing him. It unearthed a lot of headlines. He was way too rusty. I don't know what they want in a trade. I think it might be a middle round pick to get David Montgomery. I'm not reporting that they're doing anything just yet, or that that's even the direction. Jawar is under contract through 2026. I think Saleh will help them. I think the Colts will be good with Daniel Jones. I think the division will be a little tougher than it was this year. I've reported on this already. I don't think they're going to get a quarterback's coach. Larry, the hope is that he'll play better, that he'll fix his mistakes, that he'll break self-scout. They'll help him with that and play better football. What about Justin Herbert in last year's playoffs? Look at the meltdown he had, and he came back and had a good year. No, he's not going to bench D'Amico for Graham Mertz. Come on. Serious questions only. I got like 2 more minutes, guys. I think Titus will be 20 million plus. In the offseason, they rest right now. They go on vacations. They start lifting weights and training. They have surgery. Inside info on coach, yeah, they're right now it's kind of tilted from maybe they're going to be moves to now not looking like a lot of moves. They did fire a quality control coach. Offense. No, he's not your franchise running back one. Jamar is a backup. I think Tank Dell could be the third receiver, be your primary slot. There's a way to do Titus Howard and Ingram deals, yes. Great question. Aziz Ashire won the award for the good guy. I would say that his interviews are a little more better on the big picture. Woody was very good at talking about some things. He was very enthusiastic. He was helpful. I don't see them getting Mike Evans. That was never on the table last year. Right now, the plans for Gerard to stay unless he gets like the Miami job. I don't know if he's getting the Miami job. I can't rank just one. Some of the guys are really great. Nico is awesome. Trent Brown, Titus Howard. A lot of great guys. Has nothing to do with the S2. He didn't try on the S2. He didn't care about it. He thought it was dumb. He didn't want to take it. Ownership wanted him. D'Amico wanted him. Kyle Shanahan recommended him to D'Amico. Nick got on board. They liked him. At one point, they liked Bryce Young more. They didn't even have a choice. No, they would not replace Dalton Schultz with Brevin Jordan. I don't see a wide receiver trade. Thanks, HTX. They need to protect him better. He needs more time. Okay, once tags. You know, I'm holding my phone and doing my best to do that. I don't have, we have a cameraman. That stuff is all for television. So you get what you get. And guess what? You get it for free. You're not paying for this, are you? So give you the best I got. I've been covering this team now. This will be 11 years that I've covered this team. Yeah, Seth, he said that. I know. Wasn't a great moment. Dari will not start. All right, guys. All right, thanks, Six. Appreciate it. All right, guys. Thanks, Larry. Appreciate all the questions. The good ones, the ones that are a little bit offbeat, it's fine. Thanks once, yeah. I don't know if I'm ready for the snowstorm. I think we're going to have a lot of ice, though, and not sure if we're going to be able to. We stocked up on supplies. Everybody be safe out there, absolutely. Be careful. If you don't have to drive, don't drive once it gets bad. All right, guys, thanks. Talk to you soon. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for everybody that contributed. That is much appreciated. Really, really great. A lot of people hit the super chat. That is awesome. And like I said, we'll be at the scouting combine. We'll be at the owners' meetings right now. No plan to go to the all-star games. I don't really see that as a good use of my resources. Davis Mills cannot run fast enough to play wide receiver. You are welcome, guys. I won't shoot myself in the foot. Larry, I'm serious. Contact me or call me. Shoot me a DM and then we can have a conversation. I'd love to hear this. And it will be off the record and confidential. See what's what, okay? All right, guys. Thank you so much. You guys stay warm, stay safe, drive safe if you have to hit the roads. Talk soon. All right, guys. Good night.